to Last Call, Wizards of the Couch Monday nights, where we get really laid back. I said that last week too, and then I realized, hey, we're really already pretty laid back. So
we're horizontal now.
We're practically horizontal at the moment. Tonight's topic, I think Brian actually had a story he wanted to talk about. So now that Luke's out of the room,
time. It's story time.
Story time with Brian is always a great idea or a bad idea.
Well, we're gonna have a graphic for that now. Story time with Brian. Okay.
This episode we got a couple of like Danny going. We
got Danny's clip. Yeah.
These are all hidden behind Patreon, right? This isn't going out live to everyone, is it?
It is going out live right now. It will not be available after live.
Oh, okay. Still,
this is your only shot.
So we're talking about Luke Gygax today, which reminded me of one of my favorite Gary Kahn stories. I am partying with Tony Sudlow, whom I will bring onto the show as a guest sometime. You may have heard the name. You may not know who he is. He is one of the artists who did early Greyhawk covers and also most famously Birthright. Okay. So, I mean, amazing art, right? And that piece of artwork up there, real painting, that's Tony Sudlow. Well, we're at Sprecher's in Lake Geneva because that's what you do. You go to Sprecher's and you have delicious, delicious beer. Also, that's the Cove where our hotel was. So, the place is absolutely slammed, right? Just people, wall-to-wall people. And you could see the hostess, the frustration in her eyes. And we're like, hey, how long for a table? She's like, oh, I don't know. It's like 45 minutes. And we're like, oh, you guys are busy tonight, huh? She's like, yeah, some guy, he made a game or something. And it's like super busy today. Here's Tony Sudlow, one of the artists who worked for that game. Oh my God, we just die laughing. So, so that game.
So maybe there are famous people in D&D. At least if you're containing yourself to one Sprecher's.
One Sprecher's.
Well, someone here is drinking moonshine, so we need to watch him.
I'm impressed you're still above board. You were like through that whole glass almost. Yeah, that's amazing.
Hey, and I promised you guys I was going to sip it, and I have. So,
all right. So tonight's topic: Rise of the Boutique RPGs. Rise. Specifically with 5th edition, I think most of the ones that we're talking about are 5th edition based systems. Settings, I guess, maybe.
Both.
Yeah, so we've got, what do we have? Let's count. We got Wendy's, Stranger Things. Arby's has, if you watch Arby's Twitter feed, like they've got the cool shaped, they do like shields and armor and shit out of their boxes all the time. That's pretty awesome stuff, but it's clearly D&D themed. In fact, there's a couple of them that I went back through their Twitter feed and looked, and there's a couple that even have D20 dice in there. And the Arby's thing really pisses me off because I guess they gave out Arby's dice at Gen Con. They were out in 20 minutes, but I really want a set of dice
from
Wendy's.
Arby's.
From Wendy's. No, Wendy's. Did I say Arby's? I apologize.
Yeah,
Wendy's.
Arby's. Yeah, I was like, what?
Who's drinking?
Wendy's.
Yeah.
This segment brought to you by Cabertos. This you wee lads. Wendy's, the Wendy's hunt. They had a set of dice. They didn't give it with the book itself, but gave it away at Gen Con. I would like some of those. If anybody has 2 sets,
that's amazing.
612. Yeah,
I had no idea this.
Yeah. I saw it was some random post on I think the Facebooks or Twitters or something like that. But,
it's
tell me they smell like they smell like spicy nuggets.
They're scented like French fries.
No, I don't care about their French fries.
Chicken nuggets.
They're spicy nugs. That's where it's at.
So we got Wendy's, Stranger Things, Arby's, and now hold on.
Delve, right? Oh wait, Steven's not in the say. Oh, he's not here. I had to. I had to do it.
Rick and Morty's. Oh gosh, the lights are killing it.
Where did you get your copy?
I got it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I think and it was I think it's even on sale right now on Amazon for $17. Couldn't pass it up.
They're the Wendy dice. They're red except for the 20, which has a Wendy's logo on the 20.
Yeah, dude. If anyone out there has them,
there they are.
Hey,
They're on one of their Twitter. Yeah, I just found it.
Just don't let Alex Cameron know, because I don't think he has a set yet, and he will outbid me.
Oh, well, you shouldn't have said anything. He's on the Google.
The Googles.
He's on the Google.
Oh, Beth says, "Hi, Beth. By the way, it's good to see you." Beth. Apparently, Steven's playing D&D right now, so
yeah, we
watch
called Delve a boutique.
Yeah. So what are the thoughts on these games that are clearly off, like in one shot land, like the Wendy's game? I don't know if any of you looked through it, but it was really, really well done. I don't know who did the maps for them and the art, but it was a straight up
it was
RPG
pro.
book.
It was put together by a pro. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think Wendy's, you can basically say, yeah, that's clearly marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But is it the same with Rick and Morty's? Is it the same with Stranger Things? Is it a marketing tool, or is it
it's user
capitalized? What is it?
Well, I can tell you that I ran the Stranger Things the other night for my friends and their daughter, but that is, it's set. You wouldn't know it was in Stranger Things unless you gave them the backstory about what was going on, because it's just basically a simple scenario developed from the viewpoint of a young teenage boy, and him, how they was
the game that they were playing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the Demogorgon's in there somewhere later on. You could face them, their version of the Demogorgon, but other than that, it does nothing with Stranger Things. But
that's right. So the thing with the shtick, I guess, with Stranger Things was that the DM, not inexplicably, but all of the DM's perspective for the DM to enjoy was all from the kid's perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to crush your.
So Dead Aussie Gamer mentioned that, and I forgot this, but the gentleman class, which came from, was it Axe Body Spray, or I thought it was?
No, it was Old Spice.
Old Spice.
Old Spice.
Yeah. But I forgot Old Spice also got in the game, because they released the gentleman class before Wendy's came out. But I guess the gentleman is in the Wendy's game.
Yeah, he's posted.
So
he posted the PDF on Twitch there. The gentleman. Yeah, that's pretty cool for the Pathfinder version. Yeah,
it's. I don't even know what I think about it. It is so surreal to me to remember back to the 80s when I couldn't even mention the word, or 90s even mention the word D&D without getting somebody, immediate. Like, I imagine that girl in the bar, and like, hey, I play D&D, and she's just about face and walks away without
That'll be
even
another
a
story
word.
time with Brian.
Brian actually has that, several of them that I would assume. But so I don't even know how to wrap my head around this stuff. It is totally surreal. What are your general thoughts on these games, Brian?
So number one, I think we live in an amazing time when there's such a large segment of the population, 40 million, that are into role-playing games.
That's what they say, yeah.
So that we're enough of a market base that companies feel the need to market to us, okay? And I'm okay with that.
Sure.
I totally am, right? It legitimizes our hobby. It brings more eyes onto what we're doing. And, it's like, all right, in the video game industry, there's something called user acquisition. Stranger Things had a huge following. So D&D says, you know what? Let's tap into that market. Let's combine the license of Stranger Things and the content and make our own product. We're going to draw to both crowds. We're going to get a bunch of people who love D&D and the nostalgia of D&D and saw it on Netflix. We're going to buy the shit out of it. But also people who love Stranger Things, who maybe had a passing interest in D&D, now are saying, you know what? There's a D&D box set based on Stranger Things. Fuck yeah, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. And it's no mistake that it's 5th edition, right? Because the OGL. I mean, that's why.
Correct.
Because, even though Pathfinder has actually a less restrictive OGL, like, everybody wants to be part of Big Papa's, little kingdom. So I don't find it strange at all. I think it's all marketing. All of them.
Yeah.
And a blip. I don't think it'll continue.
Really?
It's if it's successful,
you don't think IKEA is going to come out with their campaign setting, their Slavic or their northern?
I hope so.
The only kind I want a post-apocalyptic IKEA game.
I don't want to put that game together, but
Oh, boom! Exploring the real nuts and bolts of RPGs.
Ooh, I like it. Oh, but you know what though? I think it's great. I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
And look, I think we've talked about Wendy's before, but I'm gonna hammer that home again. How much total do you think that they spent on that marketing campaign? The marketing campaign was creation of a product. We did all the marketing for them.
$250,000.
40 million people said, hey, this is all I'm going to talk about for a week on Facebook, on every social media outlet. Okay. That cost them nothing. And that product that they made,
drop in the bucket, certainly.
Okay. There's no way though that they spent $5,000 even on it.
Oh, I bet you they spent way more than that.
No. I mean, even paying per word and paying for all that great art, maybe 7, 10 at the max. Okay. Think how inexpensive that is by comparison to radio, to billboards, to TV. And every fucking nerd on social media couldn't say enough about it for like a week or 2 weeks. That's all we heard. It was like the week of Wendy's. And it worked because I'm like, hey, you know what? Some spicy nuggets actually do sound pretty fucking good. So
I don't eat Wendy's at all on general health principles, but I agree with you fully that everybody talked about it. It didn't matter, and they don't care if people are talking shit or not. They just want noise, And if they can get some people, I don't even know did they ever sell it, or wasn't it just given away? It was
given away. Except somebody on eBay selling a black and white bound copy of it for $30.
Okay.
Go figure.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Probably not legal, I would think.
It's like, are you seriously kidding me?
If it brings even like 5,000 people into the fold, that's worth doing.
Yeah. Right. From our perspective,
But I will not name the person who I listened to this screed from or participated on Facebook, who just thought it was the death of all things holy. It was like everything is going to shit in a handbasket and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa, dude, like, relax. This is going to be here and gone. And maybe this person, I could maybe imagine this person was just doing it just to vent. But if taken seriously, I didn't think any of it made much sense. I mean, who cares that they had a design agency make it? Who cares that, like, I work in marketing. I write D&D stuff, I mean, not that big of a deal. So I don't know. I think the much ado about nothing, quite frankly, on both sides of the equation. I don't think it was particularly successful. There are definitely marketing campaigns that do things like they're just laying the groundwork. Mm-hmm. Like, this didn't even have to do much. This was just like proof of concept, and then they see if there's more of an audience. I don't know. I don't think of Wendy's being associated with D&D either. I think of pizza and D&D. That's a lock.
But here we are still talking about it.
Yeah.
It's in our subconscious. It's in every one of the 40 million gamers who talked about it on Facebook subconscious.
They all saw it.
That's how marketing works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then at some point you're going to drive by a Wendy's and go, you know what?
Those guys support Dungeons and Dragons.
That's exactly right. So they've got you. It's genius.
I think D&D has a popularity problem. And the popularity problem is that all of us that have been doing it for 40 years can't fucking believe it's popular. So when we see Wendy's doing it, like, the reaction that we're having is like, are you kidding me? Like,
But you know what? It's not just marketing anymore. It's thoroughly its tendrils are completely in pop culture. I don't know how many TV shows I have seen where I'm like, that was a fucking D&D reference, or they just blatantly talk about D&D, and I'm like, wow.
That's why I started. That's how I started this whole conversation. Was I can't wrap my head around it. I'm sure for any of the new players that have just picked it up in the last 5 or 10 years, even, like, this is the natural progression of a game that is popular, and this is what but for somebody that has tendrils and
got beaten up on it. Got beaten up because of the game. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it is really tough to wrap my head around. And Dead Aussie Gamer on here said it's on one hand it's blatant corporate advertising, which kind of sucks. But then on the other hand, you realize that it's gamers making the product, and ultimately it was some gamers that made the product. And just I think what Danny was saying is, big
gamers,
deal. I mean, that's what it is.
Positions.
Those people have always been there, though. Those people have always been there. We're just not afraid to say it anymore, because all those people making movies in Hollywood, they played D&D. They just didn't talk about it.
Right.
And now it's like,
they are.
This is just the most like blatantly capitalist version of pulling that curtain back and saying now not only is it okay for like grown professionals to admit they play D&D, but corporations will admit it too.
Yeah,
True.
Beth says that it will definitely continue from her perspective. By the way, our one of our first patrons on the channel right now.
Acquisitions intoxicated.
Yeah, you've got.
I feel like it has to grow at such it's growing at an exponential rate. But to support these kinds of games, I don't think support is what they're looking for. Nobody is going to.
But Brian's got a point, though. I mean, from a marketing perspective, the millions of dollars that they put into a football commercial is. I mean, this is a drop in the bucket.
That's exactly my point.
The no-brainer. I mean,
it also doesn't have the audience exposure that a football game does either. But I mean, still, if 40 million is the number, and I guarantee, my guess is they reached a pretty high percentage of people with that Wendy's thing.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be shocked to say 20 million. 50% saturation on that wouldn't shock me at all, because every fucking buddy was talking about it. Right. And let's just be honest. Okay. Gamers aren't like your salad eating,
it's true.
healthy choice,
Chicken nuggets.
right? Like that's direct to their target. That's their direct target market.
I don't believe 40 million, though. I don't believe 20 million, quite frankly.
You don't think so?
I think it's a small.
Their last print run. I heard the other day, their last print run, and this is Wizards of the Coast proper, was 125 million for their most recent print run. 125,000, pardon me, 125,000 for their player's handbook was their last update run. So I mean,
and we're not talking pure D&D. I mean,
if this edition does that twice a year, that's 250,000 people a year. It takes 4 years to get to 1 million, 5 years to get to 2 million. I'm just saying.
What's the number of? Anybody know what the number of D&D Beyond subscribers is right now? I don't know what that number is.
Oh, Google!
I'd be shocked if it was more than. I'd be shocked if it's more than a couple of 100,000.
Which and D&D is
D&D
what
Beyond?
percent of the market? You think 75?
And see, this is what it gets to. Like, what's the purpose of Wendy's doing this? It's not to sell their game. It's not to make a game or to create more gamers. It's to create more people to buy their core product.
Yep.
So that's what I mean about it not being a flash in the pan. It's not intended to sell a game. It's intended to sell a nugget. And
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all I'm saying. So, and there's way more people who eat nuggets than gamers, right? I mean, those really are 40 million, So I think it's just good because a rising tide carries all ships. It can't hurt. I don't know what it would hurt. So generally, if it's not hurting me as a sort of a nascent libertarian, I don't care. Do what you want, man. Have a McDonald's will do one. I just wish somebody would do something that's not D&D. It'd be cool if people did a different take.
Will Ronald McDonald be a hero or a villain? I'll be curious to see if he's like a hamburger guy. Oh yeah,
a hamburger guy.
Have what was that guy? What's the green or the purple? What's the purple dude?
Oh, the Grimace.
Grimace. Yeah, Grimace is like some sort of purple golem or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Robble.
Thanks.
Robble.
Which I think was quoted in the David Bowie song. Robble, put on your dress. I'm going to stop.
Oh,
right. I didn't mute him fast enough. Sorry, folks.
If only I could believe you would stop.
The moonshine is kicking in now. Here it goes. All right. Holy moly, that woke
All
me
right,
up.
so you, the folks out there who are watching, you tell us what you think. This is last call and only available on our post live, only available on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/wizardscouch. Go check us out there and support the show. We'd really appreciate it.
We sure do.
From Danny, Jimmy, Moonshine Guy, and I, we are going to call it a wrap for the night. And we really appreciate you watching. And we will see you in 2 weeks with, I think, a pretty significant surprise for guest.
No, hold on. Before we cut loose.
Wait a minute. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't shut
Last call and last call.
Last call on last call. I
He's
mean,
going to talk some more.
Closing time.
we've had some pretty good guests, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, great guests, arguably. Tonight's guest was an outstanding guest.
Yes.
Are we going to top it?
Yes.
Can we top it?
I-
We'll see.
We'll see. I think that we'll have to leave that to the
We
audience
have to.
decide.
We have to. What choice do we have? We're halfway up the fucking
We
mountain.
have no choice.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much again. And
Thanks.
we will see you in 2 weeks. And you have a great night.
It'll be good.
Deuces all.